Okay, here we are. Okay, the 16th day of the 22-day fast, and I'm sorry to start really late today, but man, there's a lot of information. There's a lot of words with iron in that chapter, and so I'm sorry I'm maybe too selfish, but I was enjoying myself with the lesson as I was preparing it. But it took me a while to get to this, but I'm gonna do it anyhow. It's not the end of the night. A few more minutes, like about 38 minutes to midnight. But I'm fully invigorated with the message, by the way, so I don't expect many of you to be awake, but I'll share the message anyhow because of my commitment for each day. So today we talk about AYIN, the observation of the eye. All right, for surveying, for watching. All right, so this is AYIN, what we're looking at. Let me get my studio here in front of me so I know what I'm doing. Shalom, Andy, you're awake. Oh, good to see you, man. All right, we're doing AYIN for the eye, the functionality of the eye, what we're going to use it for. And, in the father mode, because that's what I'm teaching you, to walk in the father mode. And I'll explain to you in a minute what I'm talking about. But let me get to the main thing here. All right. Isaiah 54:70. I'm going to sing that to you. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord. Thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord. Kids. All right, so that's a nice little song to remember, because we really, when we are in the father mode, which I'm going to teach you very clearly tonight, that's it. You're in the highest employment of the dabar, the highest usage and functionality that the dabar could ever have, and all of creation, above angels and above everything else. You're in the mindset and a heart that is after God's heart, because that's the only way God employs the dabar. I'm in the father mode, which I'm going to explain today very clearly. And so once you're there, nothing can beat you. You're on top of the world. You're on top of creation. You're on top of everything. You're in the highest mindset possible. All right. So I'm rejoicing to share this with you today because I got so much out of this when I was preparing it, Good thing I was a little tired this afternoon. I slept a little bit. about 2 hours this afternoon when I got off work. And then I got up and I was preparing the lesson. It was so wonderful, by the way. So let me have a little commercial here to share while I go and I share this in my timeline as well while I'm playing the commercial. All right, let me do this. All right, so here we are now. The Hebrew chart. We're looking at AYIN today. That's the pictograph of the eye, to watch, to experience, to survey, to examine, to all those things that have to do with the functionality of the eye. Now, if you happen to be in the Father, in the mindset of the Father, you understand that that's the greatest employment. So if you're seeking in this world, I can't hear you when the commercial is on. Oh yeah, okay, but you can hear the commercial. That's the whole idea. Yeah, I just want the commercial to be heard. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and the other commercial with the watch, I was quiet because I was sharing it to my timeline. Right, but as long as you can hear the commercial, that's fine, because there I don't want to say anything. I just want the commercial to be heard. All right, on this one, so we're talking about ayin. Ayin is the eye. It's Hebrew word for eye, by the way. So ayin is also the Hebrew word for eye. But it has to do with the functionality of observing or watching. And if you're going to use your eyes in the fullness of the languages, in the fullness of the dabar, because like I say, God is the giver of directions, of the governing operations director. He is the one creating everything, so he is surveying and is watching everything that he has made to see to it that is good, that it functions. Okay? It looked like you were saying something while the commercial was playing. Oh, okay. Now I was just murmuring to myself. That's the case. Anyhow. So, in the eyes of the creator of all things, of the Father, you understand that therefore you are looking to it that everything is functioning, like a creator in a company. He's watching and surveying everything that he has made in his company, making sure that everything works the right way. This needs to be worked away. Okay, check, it's working. That's working, check. And everybody goes around checking and make sure that everything is functioning. So, whenever you are in the creator, you look your eyes, okay, and you behold the territory, not to see, this is the territory where I'm going to get my riches from, but this is the territory where I'm going to bestow my riches upon. That's the whole idea. You see and survey the whole field. Like God told Abraham, all this land, all this, as far as your eye can see, I will give you. He wasn't thinking, this is where I'm going to get out, every riches, I'm going to get everything out of it. No, this is a place where I'm going to bestow the understanding of the Most High, of Hashem, of Adonai. So when the fullness of the word, when your treasure is only the meaning and definition of a word, the mom and dad of a word is the meaning and definition, like M and D. When you have a word with its meaning and definitions, then that word is it's not an orphan word, but it's a word that is of a powerful producer. It's not left here as an orphan that cannot produce anything. And so when you have that, then you look upon the horizon and you see this is all that I can enrich, with this wholeness and fullness of word. That's what all creators do. They look at the market of where they're going to send all the products and services and enrich the world with that comfort. So people that are full of words with a meaning and definition, they utilize their eyes to survey the area we're going to spread their riches with. Not where they're going to, suck the riches out of. Now, those that are not into the wholesomeness of words, but are only here as consumers, as echo chambers, they look upon the world and see this is all the area where I'm going to get everything out. Where I'm going to get all my riches. I come to America, the land of the free, where I can get everything for me. Everybody come here with a consumer mentality. They don't have the mentality of the Father. And therefore that's why they're lost to begin with, because that's the main ingredient that we need to capture. And that's what we're talking about here. So today, we are on the 16th letter, which is this one, AYIN. Okay, the picture of the eye and the numerical value of 70. All right. And AYIN is very interesting. Okay. So that's what we're looking at today. Now, let me take you to what I'm talking about here. So the thing is, therefore, if you are in the Father, your eyes are going to be used, to survey the whole field where you're going to bestow or cast out or lavish, if you please. That's the best word, lavished all of the riches from on high. And the riches of the understanding of the Maker from on high, those are everlasting riches. Because the thing is, when your soul acquires the definition and meaning of something, those riches in your soul that enable a product or service to work, those are everlasting riches, because you give them out and you don't lose them. I give the knowledge of how to make a car, I still retain that knowledge, and my neighbor has that knowledge now. So every knowledge that is retained in the soul becomes an everlasting and an enduring riches. Okay, so you understand that that's words, that's what they are. They're better riches than things that are made out of gold or silver, because you never run out of them. You can give them out to everybody and you still keep them, and everybody gets to have them. That's the kind of riches that we want to have. The riches that enables us to be producers, and especially in the character and understanding of the mindset of God, So that's what we're looking at here. So perfect for that. Now, let me take you to the lesson that I'm talking about here to get to the nitty gritty of this. So I will show you the portrait at the beginning. Okay. Here we go. Now, I put here like I have my eyes on top of this so you can have it in front of me. All right. And so there it tells you, this is the thing you need to understand. All right. I'm going to read it to you. We were made for the word, that is the dabar, in us, to be upheld and kept in the Father mode, and not for the downfall of the casting out of the Father mode. Let me repeat that first part again. We were made for the word, that is the dabar, in us, to be upheld and kept in the Father mode. And that's letter by letter, F.A.T.H.E.R. To be upheld and kept in the Father mode, and not for the downfall or the casting out of the Father mode. In other words, we're not supposed to take out the Father mode. The Father mode is a way of operating and using the dabar. So God gave us the dabar. He wanted us to use it in His mindset, and that's why I call His mindset the Father mode, because He thinks like a father. He is the creator and the father of everything that has been fashioned. So He has to take all the care of it. So we have to constantly be in the Father mode. So I had a way of explaining this. So, so for the dabar, the second paragraph, for the dabar, at any time you're either exalting and preserving or purifying the Father mode, or you are eliminating and polluting or putrefying it. Okay, that's why. Because from God's point of view, since He only uses the word to express His mode, His mindset. Okay. Mindset of definite enterprise, I suppose I could call that mode. The mindset of divine enterprise. I said mode, I will call it that. The mindset of divine enterprise. So the Father mindset of divine enterprise, the Father mode. I'm going to write that down. It's a good acronym for mode. Mindset of divine enterprise. Okay. We were made for the word. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that again. We were made for the word, that the body in us to be upheld and kept in the Father mindset of divine, enterprise, or divine employment, because that's what He uses it for. A mode is just modality or way of doing things, a modus operandi, and not for the downfall or the casting out of the father mode. So God never wanted us to lose out on using the dabar for that purpose. Otherwise, we lose the purpose for being here because He made us for Himself. All right. So for the dabar at any time, so God is looking. Okay, this is what I am, and this is what I made you for. So when you use the word and you're not lining it up with His mindset, what are you doing? You're casting down. You're eliminating the father mode for the original purpose of the dabar. Okay, you're polluting and you're putrefying because everything that you substituted with here in this world to talk about it and to exalt anything in this world, and think that those things in this world are going to make you be somebody and accredit to those things, call something some product of the earth. This is my father, this is my mother, because by those things I gain status and notoriety in this world. It's just embarrassing to God that you have done that to begin with. But you are doing because everything was made for the purpose of revealing Him. You're casting down. You are eliminating. You're polluting. You're putrefying. The father mode, and you're just taking it out of the dabar, and therefore the dabar is left here like an orphan. Not being a producer, but being a bummer. So every consumer just asks for products because that's all they can do. They don't know how to make anything, and that's a shameful situation when you were made for such a high elevated activity. So He says, so for the dabar at any time, you're either exalting and preserving and purifying the father mode, or you are eliminating and polluting or putrefying the father mode. And then I explain by father mode what I'm talking about. Father here stands for fully activated, teaching humanity, enduring riches. So when you're fully activated, I mean you're fully able, you have knowledge, you're full of meaning and definition. So you're fully activated to produce, right? Either the character you make or whatever product and service you learn. So when you're fully activated because you're full of the meaning and definition, then you begin to teach humanity enduring riches or everlasting riches, because every word that you acquire as a way of a meaning and definition, once it's settled in your heart and in your mind, is enduring, is everlasting, because you can give it out to everybody every time and you never lose it. That's the beauty of the riches of the word. That once you give it out, you never lose it because it's inside of you. And so that's the thing. So to be in that is to be fully activated, teaching humanity enduring riches, or fully able to help everyone rapidly, because you are so knowledgeable, you have the knowledge, you're serviceable, you're fully able to help everyone rapidly. So that's what the Father rejoices in, okay? That's what the Father does 24/7. He has all the knowledge. All that He keeps is words and knowledge. He knows, the blueprint for all the plants, for all the insects. He has them all memorized. It's in His very being, and He wants to bestow it upon us. If we want to be observant and want to be in fellowship with Him, that's what He's going to do. So the Father, the one that is always full of the definition of man, and that's all He holds on to, because without it, He can never show Himself as a Father. He doesn't retain the full definition, the meaning and definition of everything. He cannot take care of the things that He has made. So He calls us to rejoice in that kind of mindset, so that the only thing that we have here, and we consider the highest goal, the highest riches, because if our goal is to have always the mindset of the Father, then the only thing is the Torah. That's the highest riches that enables us to walk in that mindset daily, 24/7. You understand? So that's why. So Father here, keep in mind, the Father mode is to be fully activated, teaching humanity enduring riches. Okay? That's the mentality, of divine enterprise, the mode that God is into all the time. So to be in that mode, okay, fully activated, teaching humanity enduring riches, or fully able to help everyone rapidly. Okay, that's what enables you to express the Father. That's what the Father does. He has to be fully able to do everything for His children. And God is the Father of everything in nature and everything that has ever been made. The Father of the sun, the Father of the moon, the Father of the stars, the founder of everything that has ever been created. So he retains the knowledge. He retains the fullness of the meaning and definition. And that's what He calls us to rejoice. All right. Chasing fool's goal. Like exactly. Everything in this world that you go after is just chasing fool's goal. Compared to these riches are, to God, the greatest riches that you can ever retain. And if you happen to have that mindset, you are walking in the heart. You're a person that is after God's own heart. That's why you see why David exalts each letter of the alphabet, because he's trying to tell us it is, hey fellas, it's the meaning and definition that counts with God. To have words so that you hear amidst the humanity that you live surrounded, with all the people that you are, to show off this attitude, this mindset, this modality, this way of thinking, this mode of divine enterprise, okay? This manner of divine enterprise, okay? This movement of divine enterprise. So, so this mindset of divine enterprise, the mode. So let me repeat this one more time, because this is a very important teaching, that you need to get down. And I'm going to be referring to this time and time again. So we were made for the word. I mean, that abide in us to be upheld and kept in the Father mode, and not in the downfall or the casting out of the Father mode. So for the dabar, at any time you're either exalting and preserving, or purifying the Father mode, or you are eliminating it and polluting it or putrefying it. Okay, and that's what we don't want to do. So that's really what sin is. So we can go into this world, and we engage ourselves to become something in this so-called retarded garden, like by acquiring a title of some sort and everything like that. But you have forgotten the original reason for which you were made, which was just to be in the mindset of the Creator and never to lose sight of His joy, to be with the fullness destination. So you can have a career. You can be an engineer. You can be an architect. You can be a physician. You can be anything in this world, because with everything we provide good to our fellow man. We are serviceable to our fellow man, and that is fine. But above all, is to be in the mindset of the Father, because the mindset of the Father encapsulates all sciences, all arts. Okay, and this is the gift that God has given me in teaching this lesson, because I am teaching what is called the universal lessons, because this applies to every situation. It not only applies to applying it to the meaning of the mental mindset of God, but to every job that you go to, you have to become that to a product. You have to learn the meaning and definition of a product, so you can be this. You can be fully activated with the knowledge and teaching all the employees, all the human beings in there, the enduring riches of how to do that job. And you are fully able to help everyone rapidly with the product you're there. So you see, this is a universal teaching. Universal, think of it as F.A.T.H.E.R. It's one word, one verse. Universal means one verse or one word. So that's what I do with my teaching. God has enabled me to give me teachings that are universal application. Okay, so I'm giving you the universal application of this. These are teachings that apply across the board, from the highest, from Him who is the head above all, right? From Elohenu Adonai, who is the head above all, down to everything. Even in the garden or retarded garden, they have to use His order. Okay, so we're on to this, man. We're getting into this. That's what enables us to be there above everything. All right, now let me get to the lecture for today. All right, so it says with the scripture for the day. Okay, here we go. And the scripture for the day, we have, there's a lot of words for iron here, by the way, with an I. There's in verse 1, the word done, it says, I have done judgment. The word done is asa, okay? And it's, it's for having to fashion or observe or maintain or accomplish, or to work or done something. I have worked, I have accomplished, I have done judgment and justice. Leave me not to mine oppressors. All right, and then it says, verse 122. And the word, by the way, the word oppressors in verse 1 is another word that starts with AYIN, and it's called asak. Asak, the word oppressor, asak. Leave me not to my oppressors, or those that defraud me or scatter my riches. Okay. My oppressors, to what he was calling a sack, is a person that, that wants you to take all the stuff that was meant to be given to you, so you spend your mindset, line up your words and yearnings, your way. Commit thy way, commit thy words and yearnings unto the Lord, the language of revealed duty, Lord. Commit your words and yearnings to that, and then you shall be established. But these people want you to commit yourself. The oppressors are the ones that want you to commit yourself to learning something in this world, just to be useful in this world and never useful to the mindset of God. And those are oppressors, according to David. So you understand that. Now, verse 122, it says, be surety for thy servant for good. Let not the proud oppress me. The word oppress is there, the same word, a sack. But surety here, the word surety is also a word that starts with ayin. And surety means, read to you, it's Arab. Arab. We say Arab, but Arab, A-R-A-B, Arab. And a wrap, it means it be like an insurance, a security bond, a mortgage. Be a protector, be my insurance for thy servant, for good. I am, in other words, I'm insured by who you are. Your character doesn't fail me. Let not the proud oppress me, okay? Let not those that are proud to be attached to the things in this world be the ones to distract me and take me away from this. Now, verse 123. Now, eyes, here is the word iron. Iron exactly literally means eye. So this word exactly stands for eye. So iron is the word of the day. It is iron without Y, the way I wrote it in the portrait at the beginning. That's the word for iron. And it has the letters, I'll show you here. Yeah, it has the letter Aleph. Okay, I'm not Aleph, but the I, iron, and it has the Y and the Jud, and the Noon. Okay, and so it means the observations, the watching of the observation of the work of continuity. That's what the word eye means, watching the observation of the work of continuity. In other words, you got to use your eyes to watch the work that continues to work. In other words, that's why you're working in a company. You're surveying and make sure that the job gets done. See to it, check out that that's being done. See to it that that is being done. That's what we use our eyes for at work, right? To watch, and observe that the work gets done, gets to be continued. Okay, so that's what it so clearly says there. And mine eyes fail for thy salvation. And the word fail means to long. My eyes fail for the word salvation in Yeshua. And in Hebrew, the word Yeshua, salvation, is a feminine word, by the way. But my eyes fail for thy completeness, for thy wholesomeness, and for the word of thy righteousness. Oh, my eyes long for this. Okay, and deal with thy servant according. And this word deal is also another word here, and the word deal is the same as done at the beginning. To complete, to work, as it complete or work for thy servant according unto thy mercy, and teach me thy statutes. And then verse 125, I am thy servant. And the word servant, by the way, is another word for what has iron is ebed. Ebed is the word servant. Okay, and the word servant ebed has the eye to be observer of the house administration. So servant means the washer of the administration of the house, because that's what you do as an employee. You're there to watch that the work gets done. The observer of the house's administration. That's what an employee does in a job place. The observant of the house's business. Of the blueprint business. Deal with thy servant according unto thy mercy. I am thy servant. I'm thy Ebed. Give me understanding that I may know thy testimonies, right? And the word testimony here is another one, Edah. Edah. That's another word with iron. It's the observations of the administrations of activation. Testimony is the observation of the administration of activation, Edah. So, verse 126, it is time for thee, O Lord, to work, for they have made void thy law. And the word time here is another word, it is season, it is now. And that's the word it. It was the I and the tab, that letter. That means the observation's commitment. Okay, time. To be committed to those observations. It is time for thee, O Lord, to work, for they have made void thy Torah. Therefore, I love thy commandments above gold. It says, above fine gold. Okay, so that's what I have here, testimonies, time, season, and the work done. So therefore I love thy commandments above gold, above fine gold. Therefore I esteem all thy precepts concerning all things to be right, and I hate every false way. All right, so that's what we're talking about. The eye that surveys the whole area and watches that the outpouring of the understanding of the mindset of the Father and the Father mode, as I've explained to you, gets to be bestowed upon our mankind, and that's what we're working here to do. All right, I know I kind of rushed with this today, and there was a lot of lessons, but I know I had to, Again, I wanted to make sure I gave you the nitty gritty of everything. All right. Yeah, quality managers, all of that is part of the job. So I gotta see, it's not, so what you can see here, this I that is being exalted is not the I of the consumer that is after, that covets everything. That's why it said, thou shalt not covet. Because when you coveting, you are misappropriating, you are not using the function of the eye in which God uses it for. God uses his eye to observe all the field, all of creation, to survey everything, to make sure that everything is functioning the right way, or that he seeks to it that it gets to function the right way. He doesn't see anything to see how he wants something. So that's why covetousness is a sin, because it's a misemployment of the eye, because that's the way, when you use covetousness, when you use the eye to desire something from your neighbor, to desire something from this creation, then you are misrepresenting, the spirit of, you're misrepresenting the father mode, because the father mode has no desire to covet for anything, because he's got the meaning and the definition of everything. He only has desire to maintain, to make, to sustain, to refresh, to restore, to renew, to keep complete, to keep new, to keep all those things going. That's the only desire. So when you're using the I in that way, the I is properly representing the mindset of the father mode, okay? But when you're using it for covetousness, it's not in the father mode. That's why you understand that commandment is given. Thou shalt not covet. That means if you learn to be in the father mode, that's never going to happen to you. You're not going to be here to covet. Let not thine heart envy sinners, that's covetousness, but be thou in the fear of the Lord all the day long. You're looking at the riches because you know that the greatest riches in the world is to be in here in the mindset of the Father, because that way you can do the greatest good to your fellow man, and you can give the dabar the most highest employment that he could ever have upon creation, upon everything that God has ever made, because you have arrived at his mindset, and that was the purpose for our existence. All right, so that was all for today. Okay, let me close with the commercial again. All right, let me see if they put the commercial with the. Let me see if I did this one. All right, did I do that one? Video zone. It will show trade with. All right, for Israel. All right, okay. All right, I'm gonna finish with the commercial.